Hello, big dreamers. Welcome to the Dream Big podcast, the place to learn, laugh, and grow. This is Olga Karpman, and today I decided to record this episode myself. Don't worry, you will hear Sophia on the next episode because right now it's just a little too difficult to talk about this subject based on recent events in Los Angeles. Los Angeles fires. These fires destroyed over 5,000 structures recently and forced many families to leave their homes, including ours. Thankfully, we were safe and our evacuation was lifted quickly, but not everyone was as fortunate. Our hearts goes to everyone who lost their homes in fires. Some of our friends lost absolutely everything. Thank God they're healthy and their families safe. Our hearts go out to everyone who was affected by this tragedy. It's deeply saddening to see the devastation and the challenges so many are now facing. This experience has reminded us of the importance of being prepared, not just practically, but emotionally and mentally as well. Today, Big Dreamers, I'll share what our family learned about navigating emergencies and how families can come together in times of crisis. This is episode 440 of the Dream Big podcast, and it's time to dream big and stay prepared.
Welcome to the Dream Big podcast show. We're inspiring you to shoot for the moon, take aim and go. We bring to you amazing guests who truly love what they do. Every day they're living their dreams, and so can you. Dream big, take action to reach your goals. Are you pumped yet? It's showtime, let's rock and roll.
Welcome back, Big Dreamers. Last week, as I mentioned earlier, as we were going about our week as usual, we got devastating news that a fire had broken out in two towns of LA. Because of the high winds, it spread so quickly, and thousands of people had to evacuate their homes immediately. Our family was on high alert too. We live by the mountains, and we knew that if a wildfire started near us, it could travel fast. As a family, we began preparing ourselves for evacuation. We packed essentials like clothes, snacks, emergency supplies. Of course, we also packed few of our favorite things, like Sophia got her stuffed animals and things she loved, pictures, and sure enough, a couple of days later, because this event was going over a few days, we got an official alert to evacuate. With our cars packed and ready to leave, we anxiously waited for updates. And luckily, the evacuation order was lifted before we had to leave. But the next few days were very tense. Schools were closed, communities were scattered, many families were devastated by their loss, and we were worried about them as well. Watching the events unfold made us think deeply about how to handle emergencies, not just practically, but emotionally as well. Big dreamers, emergencies like these are difficult for everyone. And we know it's not usually the topic that we'd like to talk about on the Dream Big podcast, but it's important to stay aware and prepared because they do happen. In some of the states where we live in America, we have floods happening, earthquakes happening, tsunamis happening, unfortunately, or tornadoes. Emergencies like nature disaster or man-made events can happen, and we often worry about it a lot, and we have to act fast. And kids, parents often worry and process grief on a deeper level, but we know that you picking up on that energy as well. These can, of course, lead to fear, anxiety, uncertainty. For our family, this was the first time we had experienced anything like this. It was shocking and unsettling, and I wish I had known more beforehand to better support my kids, Sophia and Eva, and, of course, family members. That's why I'd like to share what we learned in this episode to help other families like yours to feel prepared and supported and not be scared. So, kids, what can you do during emergencies? Well, first of all, of course, do your best to stay calm. I know it's very difficult. I know it's difficult to understand what's happening when parents are starting like moving around the house, collecting things. And I know even if it's difficult to understand what's happening, please be aware that it's not really your job to solve the problem. Parents or adults will take care of it and they will keep you safe. So please stay calm. Staying calm isn't easy, especially when things feel scary. But here's something important to know. Your parents' number one priority is getting you to a safe place. Sometimes they might seem upset or even angry during an emergency, and that's because they're under a lot of stress and pressure. Please understand that their focus is on keeping you safe. Listen to their instructions carefully, and you can discuss your feelings together once everyone is safe. Don't take things personally. If they raise their voice, if they scream all of a sudden, I know it's scary. I know it feels unfair. Please understand they are under a lot of pressure and they have to act fast, and sometimes they cannot control their emotions. Number 2, pack a comfort kit. Have a small bag ready with things that make you feel safe and happy. And by the way, you probably have a kit like this at school in case of emergencies. You would get a note, bag of some sort, right? A note or something else. And you can prepare something like that at home as well, in case even your parents are not with you at the moment. You can always get that bag, read a sweet note, look at the parent's picture, have a stuffed animal with you, or have crayons and paper and draw something. You can even draw your emotions out. This can help you feel more at home if you have to leave. Number 3, talk about your feelings. You might not process your feelings right away, and that's okay. Don't think it's too late to feel or express your emotions. When you're ready, try to draw, sing, or even dance to help release what you're feeling. Sharing your thoughts with a trusted adult can also help you feel supported. Now, parents, how we can help. Here are a few tips for comforting kids during and after emergencies. And before I begin, just so you know, if you've never been in emergency situations, probably after processing it all, you're not gonna like your reactions. And it's okay. Just take it as it is. We're not designed necessarily for high emergencies, and we don't know how we're gonna react. We don't know how other people react, and in combination of things, what's gonna happen. Whatever happens, forgive yourself. Let it be. Talk openly to your loved ones, spouse, or your kids about how you processed it all. Remember, number 1, reassure your kids that everything gonna be okay. Remember that kids often don't process stress immediately. You may notice their reaction a day or two later. Help them relax physically. They might not know how to process this or how to express it to you, or they will throw tantrum. Give them, let's say, a bath. Nice warm bath with Epsom salt. This can help them release stored tensions, and then maybe they will open up and talk about their emotions. Be honest about your feelings without overwhelming them. And if you raise your voice or maybe you acted unusual, so stress, just apologize. Explain them that it's not okay, but explain that it was your reaction to high pressure situation. And this is not going to happen on a daily basis. Number 2, understand your teenagers. If you have teenagers in the house, please remember, teens can process emergencies in completely unexpected ways. Maybe you want them to help and you expect them to help in high emergencies, but they won't do any of it. because some might create drama right in the middle of the chaos, and it can feel frustrating and unfair, and you would not understand what's happening at the moment. Others might withdraw and go quiet. It all depends on their personality and your relationship with them, but let them be. And if talking doesn't help, give them time to process. Avoid giving consequences for their behavior during crisis. It's their way of managing the stress. They will react completely, probably different from what you expect them to react. Focus instead on helping them return to normal and spend time with friends. Maybe read a book or get back to their sports and activities, and then talk about it a week or two later. Now, what we're going to do after the crisis, right? First and foremost, families, big dreamers, let's remember that our body stores all sorts of stress, emotional, physical, all of it. Let's take good care of your body. Stress from emotional events can stay in your body for a long time. Help your family recover physically by easily taking baths with Epsom salt, spending time in nature, or swimming if possible. Water is incredibly soothing and can help release stored tensions. Number 2, remember, your family is a team, and this team is able to help others. Helping others can be a wonderful way to heal, but don't pressure your kids if they're not ready, especially again teenagers. Don't pressure them to participate if they resist. Give them options and lead by example. They will know that you helped yourself as well, and they will learn from it. Even if they don't join this time, they'll learn from your actions for the future. Focus on gratitude. Talk about how lucky you are if your family wasn't affected directly, but also acknowledge and emphasize with those who were. If your family was impacted, focus on the fact that you have each other and highlight the support of your community. Use this moment to reflect on what truly matters in life. It was incredible to see how LA communities came together and the whole city was lining up to help victims of fires, to clear the space, to give clothes, to give food, raise money, and many, many other resources that became available right away. To be part of this community was a true blessing because we as a family could help physically to those who lost everything. So, big dreamers, emergencies like fires, earthquakes, tsunamis, tornadoes, wars, or anything like that can be very, very scary. But they also remind us how strong and brave we can be. And also reminds us how strong we can be when we are together. So, kids, please remember, it's important to be one team with your family members. Parents, remember that kids are more scared than you are. So include them, forgive them, don't pressure them. Obviously, I know it's not your intention, but in high pressure situations, we forget to comfort them. Give each other a lot of hugs right after emergencies because it seems very simple, but one big hug a day, one tight, tight squeeze of your spouse, of your partner, of significant other, your kids, even a tight squeeze all together as a family can mean so much. Without saying any word, just hug your loved one. Remember, it's okay to ask for help and to take time to heal. And parents, your love and support make all the difference. Big dreamers, thank you so much for listening to the Dream Big podcast. We hope this episode helps you feel prepared and empowered to handle tough times. For more tips and resources, you can check out our show notes at dreambigpodcast.com/440. And if you got directly affected by LAfires and you need support and help, please don't hesitate and reach out to us. We'll be able to get our community together and support you with anything you need. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We already mentioned that once we are back to regular routine, February is the month where you can see changes with the Dream Big podcast, and you will see more of us on YouTube. Please share this episode with your friends and family. I wish that your family would never have to go through any emergencies, but it's good to know and good to be prepared emotionally, mentally. If anything, God forbid, happens, you know how to handle tough situations. Big Dreamers, thank you so much for being with us. This was Olga Karpman, and I'm looking forward to bring back Sophia on our next episode of the Dream Big podcast. Till now, stay safe, stay prepared, and of course, dream big.